Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP, and once again, this is the 1 hour chart. And we're still sitting around 50 cents right now. In today's video, I'm going to try to answer a few of the questions you had in the comment section. We're going to start with this right here. XRP Plus. Finally, David Schwartz came out and gave his opinion on this. So the Ripple CTO emphasized that newer, smaller chains have the agility to develop and test innovative technologies with real-world applications without jeopardizing the stability of existing Layer 1 chains. While existing chains can adopt new technologies, there are often compelling reasons not to, reflecting the delicate balance between innovation and security. Schwartz's most pivotal point was that the proponent should not view the emergence of a new chain as a threat to an older one. Instead, they should see it as an opportunity to expand the blockchain ecosystem. So what David is saying here is this. XRP Plus is not a threat to XRP. It's not going to devalue it or the XRP ledger. He also wants to point out that this is more expansion for the XRP ledger at the same time. Me personally, I'm not going to burn my XRP to get XRP Plus. Then there's this. Remember when people talked about the private and public ledger, that there's two different prices for XRP? I keep seeing it come up in the comment section. So take a listen to this.
But the question is, will the value of XRP be the same in the private ledgers as it is on the public?
Yes. The value proposition of XRP is that it has these liquidity pools. If it doesn't make sense to isolate something, like there's no place where gold is worth twice as much as it is now, because if there was, people would just bring gold there and they would they would buy gold somewhere else and they would sell it there. Unless the only way that you can have the value be very different in two places is if there's a lot of friction. And if there's friction, someone will make a business of removing that friction. So I don't see any realistic scenario where XRP has significantly different value unless something's wrong. Like a good example of a case, there was a time where the value of XRP, they called it the kimchi premium, right? Where the value of XRP in some Asian countries was very high, but that was because there were capital controls, right? That was because things were bad. I think that's a sign that something is not going well. The value proposition of XRP is that you can take it to all of the places, right? If I sell you some gold and you say, hey, this gold can only be used in jewelry, you're like, well, that kind of sucks. I don't want that gold, right? The value proposition of gold is that you have access to the entire value proposition of gold. And so I don't see any scenario in which where it makes sense to snip pieces.
So XRP is worth the same amount on the public and private ledger. There's not two different prices for XRP. The one reason I played this to the end is because David talks a hell of a lot about gold here, and maybe he sees XRP as the gold in the future. I know it's going to be a high-valued cryptocurrency. Ripple believes XRP will be used by banks in the United States of America. I also believe this, but not only in the US, the entire world will use XRP. You know, as XRP investors, we have a hell of a lot of things to look forward to. We're still waiting for adoption to happen here in the United States. We have ISO coming up in November. We have a possible settlement happening around the case against Ripple and the SEC. But then you got to look beyond that. Ripple getting an IPO, maybe putting a value on their XRP, skyrocketing the price. A lot of good things can happen in the very near future. Ripple and MasterCard to work on CBDC developments and digital currencies with several central banks. One thing I always notice is the companies that are partnering up with Ripple, the banks that are partnering up with Ripple. Why are they doing this? It's because they know this is the future. RippleNet technology is the future, and XRP and that on-demand liquidity is going to be a major player in the future. Other than that, they have no reason to partner up with Ripple. But people don't understand that. I try to explain time and time again. This is the new financial system building out. These partnerships are the beginning. Sure, they use RippleNet technology at first. Later, they start using on-demand liquidity. Then there's this. Visa is using the Solana blockchain for its new USDC settlement pilots with Merchant acquires WorldPay and Nuvi. Now, I don't know why Visa would choose Solana. The network has the most downtime, but there's also a lot of ties to Visa and Ripple as well. So I don't see Solana as any type of XRP killer. I just wanted to address that really quick. So the market is moving in the right direction. This is a gem. Listen closely to what he says. Way more adoption of big players than in years before.
Look on the market right now as the other peasant list. I would say the market is moving in the right direction right now quite fast. And even way faster than the last 2 years. Everyone expected to be able to use tokenization, and there will be a big hype around tokenization and all the DLT topics for the past years, but it didn't really came through. But in the last 6 months, even though there were quite complicated market times, I have the feeling that there is way more adaptation of the big players than in the years before. For example, that Siemens produced a 60 million tokenized financial product to have a loan tokenized was quite a big step into the market. And I think the movement and the waves that it produced were quite high. And also very other different big players are right now reaching out to us to adopt these new possibilities. I would say in the main frame is that the good products will have sustained over the last years, and like in the .com bubble, the good companies went through, and I would say also that happened to the DLT space. In the last years, we saw a lot of companies come and go, and I would say the good companies with high quality products look on.
So we're going to be left with the good companies. He's talking about most of the companies disappearing in the future. But when he's talking about adoption happening, he's saying it's happening faster than ever before. Like I always told you, you could see it. A couple years ago, sure, you had a partnership here or there. Now it's almost happening on a daily basis. And we're starting to see the bigger players come into the crypto space at the same time. Look at BlackRock. They're here because the new financial system is gearing up to go live at some point, and they want to make sure that they're attached to all the right cryptocurrencies. There's no difference, and he talks about tokenization as well. That's just getting going. That's going to expand so fast when it expands, and a lot of these cryptocurrencies are really going to move up off of that, depending on how much of the percentage they capture inside of tokenization. Please explain to me, why is Ripple on the cross-border payments interoperability and extension task force? Why did the BIS even mention them? It's because the BIS knows that Ripple has the best tech out there today. They're the best option for cross-border payments. And then we see here, this is some of the key takeaways from the 2023 G20 Tech Sprint in collaboration with RBI. New technologies can address problems facing the financial sector. BIS key priority, strengthen cross-border payments in emerging countries. Many multilateral payments platforms are currently under development and show enormous potential. They're so focused on cross-border payments. It's because they're fast-tracking now. It's not like it was a year ago. That was the time where they were testing the technology. I think everything is getting put in place now more than ever. Ripple files lawsuit against UK money transfer service. So it looks like Ripple's suing someone over there in the UK. Ripple Labs Singapore, PTE Ltd, the Singapore unit of Ripple Inc., filed a lawsuit against GCC Exchange, an entity behind a popular foreign exchange and money transfer app. Per the lawsuit, GCC Exchange allegedly failed to pay for the transfer of XRP liquidity made by the Singapore-based firm. So we know they're utilizing XRP now. based off of this lawsuit. And this lawsuit is just under $15 million. And it looks like everything is going right on track with us knowing that on-demand liquidity corridors are opening up and that XRP is actually being utilized in the background. But yet we still have not seen any value come from this. That's going to happen over time. And I think once XRP does run off of on-demand liquidity all throughout the world, that's going to be it. You will be priced out if you're not holding this cryptocurrency. Is XRP's next surge dependent on market trend? I think we're seeing a shift now. We're watching as everything goes from market cycle and market cap, previous cycles and history, to utility. And it's not hard to see it, because when you see big corporations out there talking about utility like BlackRock has in the past, then you look at the BIS and the IMF talking about cross-border payments, talking about CBDCs all the time, because they know we are getting close now. The days of speculation are coming to an end, and all we're going to be left with is utility. And that's why I tell people, if you're new to crypto, you got to put your money in the right place. If you go and you chase memes, your money could get tied up in there for a long period of time. You might be one of the lucky few that become a multimillionaire off of investing in a meme. But if you put your money in the right place now, you could get not only stable income in the future from your crypto, in other words, passive income, but you can also watch your investment grow over time, not waiting on some kind of hype to push your cryptocurrency. Rather, utility will be pushing your cryptocurrency. So, the Wall Street Journal says the US, UK, and EU officials plan to press the UAE to halt shipments of goods to Russia that could help Moscow in its war against the Ukraine. I think this ship has already, it's just done at this point. The UAE is done with the US dollar. And I think they're done listening to all these countries telling them what to do. That's why they want to join the BRICS. And that's supposed to happen in January of next year. And especially look at the time period. It's happening in an election year as well here in the United States. That's not happening by coincidence. I think that's happening on purpose. I think the BRICS are actually driving the new financial system. The US, the EU, and everyone else is just going to jump on board with it because they're not going to have any other options, especially as the US dollar is dropping in value. Goldman Sachs warns there's a 20% chance of a US recession in the next 12 months. Do you think they're right? I think they're 100% right, because I think we're already in a recession in the United States. And they like to bring out these articles. And I think that's for the normies of the world, the people that don't pay attention. Every once in a while they see something like this and they're like, wow, a recession's coming. Look at inflation right now. Look at gas prices right now and food prices. You know, the one reason I like to invest in crypto is because I know it gives us a shot to get away from this. You know, if you weren't invested in crypto, you would have no clue what's going on around the world. I see it all the time by talking to people. And, you know, you'll mention something and they're like, wow, when did that happen? It's like, well, that happened a long time ago. Where have you been? And you try to bring people up to the current, but yet they don't understand it. You talk about FedNow and CBDCs. They have no clue. You talk about a new financial system. Somehow they think the U.S. government's always going to be there to save the U.S. dollar. I think the U.S. government's pushing us into a new financial system at the same time. But I'm going to leave you with this. Let's get rich together. Stay patient. Stay positive. All the pieces of the puzzle are coming together perfectly. Until then, I'm going to wrap this one up. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.